Anantakoti Vaishnavind ki, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopina Shyamkanda Radha Kunda, Giri Govardhan ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki, Jagannath Puri ki, Ganga Mai ki, Jamuna Mai ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Tulasi Devi ki, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki, taking over the world with Srila Prabhupada's transcendental book distribution ki, Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya. Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vikasvara. So, I went downstairs to wash my face and put on fresh tilak. The water was left running on the tap. So please, kindly be mindful. The sink was a big mess. We may have guests visiting us today, so it's good to keep the sink clean and the water turned off. So please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text number 30. Yaha mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasya aham na pranashyami saha cha me na pranashyati yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. Please repeat. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati
Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati
Yomam pashyati sarvatra
sarvam cha mai pashyati
tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati.
Mataji's, please. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam pashyati apranashyami Anyone else?
पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वं च मयि पश्यति तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति
Yo mam pashyati sarvatra.
सर्वं च मयि पश्यति तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति
Okay. Anyone else? No? Yes? Okay. Yo yaha, whoever, mam, me, pashyati, sees, sarvatra, everywhere, sarvam, everything, cha, and, mai, in me, pashyati, sees, tasya, for him, aham, I, na, not, pranashyami, am lost, saha, he, cha, also, me, to me, na, not, pranashyati, is lost. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. For one who sees me everywhere, and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. Purport. A person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestations of material nature, but in each and every instance he is conscious of Krishna, knowing that everything is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. This is a basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a development of love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material liberation. At this stage of Krishna consciousness, beyond self-realization, the devotee becomes one with Krishna in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee, and the devotee becomes full in loving Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee then exists. In that stage, the living entity can never be annihilated, nor is the personality of Godhead ever out of sight of the devotee. To merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. A devotee takes no such risk. As in the Brahma Samhita 5.38, Premanjana Chirita Bhakti Vilochanena, Santah Sadaiva Hridayesha Vilokayanti Yam Shyama Sundaram, Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Krishna, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shyam Sundar, situated within the heart of the devotee. At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of the devotee, nor does the devotee ever lose sight of the Lord. In the case of a yogi who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee, cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shritafpada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishavamsha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karana Sandhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripasandabhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishamebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminiti Namane Nirjana Pariraksha Daksha Meenakshi Laksha Pishnamati Vitirnam Trahimam Kamagirnam Tavaguna Kriti Rupam Netra Karnadi Range Pratayatu Mama Divyam Tandavam Krishna Drishte Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Teshatarine Vagisha Yasya Vadane Lakshmir Yasya Chavakshasi Yasyasya Hridaye Samvit Tam Nrisimham Aham Bhaje Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukham karati vachalam, pangum langayate girim, yat kripa tamaham vande, Shri Gurum Dinatarinam, Paramananda Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram, Yasya Deve Parabhaktir, Yata Deve Tata Guru, Tasyaite Katita Hyartha, Prakashante Mahatmanaha, Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra, Sarvam Chamahi Pashyati, Tasyaham na pranashyami, Satcha me na pranashyati. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I'm never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So, Srila Prabhupada is speaking about in the beginning of the purport as to how a person who has Krishna consciousness, he cannot but see Krishna everywhere, but not like the way the Mayavadis say that everything is one and all this kind of nonsense. But they actually see Krishna, and they're able to realize Krishna in a very significant way. They're able to see. Why? Because they're not in Maya. They're not in Maya. What's the definition of illusion? According to the Srimad Bhagavatam. According to the Srimad Bhagavatam, the definition of illusion is Ritetam yad pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyad atmano maya meta bhasha yadatamaha. That when we see something as separate from Krishna and do not see its relationship with Krishna, that is known as illusion. So when we understand that a pure devotee of Krishna looks around and he cannot but see how Krishna is present everywhere. And this is present for the lowest grade devotee, like myself, where we can just read the Bhagavad Gita and we can see how the modes of material nature are working. We can see, this is we can understand and we can see so many different things, even just by seeing the Bhagavad Gita. And even for a devotee who's completely on the highest stage of pure love of God, like Jayadev Goswami. Jayadev Goswami, we chant, Tavakara Kamala Varena Kamad Bhuta Shringam. We chant the Dashavatar Stotra, and it comes right in his really amazing work, Gita Govinda. He writes it in this most amazing work. He writes the Dashavatar Stotra, helping one understand that the pastimes of Radha and Krishna are not some mundane love affairs between a mundane boy and a mundane girl of this material world, which always ends in misery. It's not like that. These are the pastimes of the transcendental Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the more one meditates upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead's pastimes, the more they're actually freed from this. And for a pure devotee like Jayadev Goswami, he sees even all the incarnations of Krishna, he says, wow, Keshava, you have dressed up very nicely as a half man, half lion. Oh, very nice. Keshava Dhrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare. Wow. Keshava, wow, Krishna. Oh, one with beautiful hair. Oh, one with beautiful eyes. Oh, killer of the Keshi demon. You have appeared, you have put upon the costume of a half man, half lion. Oh, how beautiful you are. How beautiful you, how nicely you play this role. Keshava Dhrita Kurma Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare. Oh, Keshava, who put on this, who appeared in this incarnation of Kurma. I see that you've come as Kurma, but I actually know who you are. You are my Keshava. That's who you are. Keshava Dhrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare. He says, oh, Keshava, so nice. You have come as the Maryada Purushottama, Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra. But it's so nice to see you. Actually, I know who you are. You are Keshava. You are Krishna. You are that same beautiful cowherd boy who plays on the flute and dances with his friends in the forest of Vrindavan. That's who you are. Wow, amazing. It's good to see you like this. It's good to see you. Wow, you're putting on such a nice show. It's so nice you've come and doing all these things for the sake of your devotees. It's so amazing. So a pure devotee, like Jayadev Goswami, is able to see this. Wow, is completely anointed with the salve of love of God, because he can, especially when one is in the perfected stage like Jayadev Goswami, they have their Ishta Devata. They have their most worshipable form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who they're extremely attached to. They're extremely attached to this form. And we see this, that even Murari Gupta, he is advised by Lord Chaitanya. He tells Lord Chaitanya tells him, you see, you're a great devotee of Lord Rama, but actually Krishna, Krishna is even it's even sweeter to worship Krishna. So why don't you worship Krishna instead? And Murari Gupta tries and tries and tries and tries, and he's like, I just can't do it. And it's better I end my life because I'm not able to follow the instructions of Lord Chaitanya. And then Lord Chaitanya goes up to him and tells him, I was just testing you because your devotion to me is unprecedented. You're seeing me as Ramachandra because you are Hanuman and you've come in the form of Murari Gupta and my Gaura Leela. And yes, your relationship, your attachment to me is unprecedented. No one's more attached to me than you are. So it's very nice, that you're unable to give up. So we see this, that devotees in their perfected state, they have a particular form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that they're very attached to. And when they're attached to that form, they cannot but see the mercy of that form. They cannot see the manifestation of the mercy of Krishna, the energies of Krishna, or Krishna himself anywhere. We see Madhavendra Puri also. Once he was walking in the field and he saw a blackish blue rain cloud in the sky and he fainted for a day or two. Because the color of that cloud reminded him of Krishna. Because that's Krishna's complexion. That's how Krishna looks. So, we should not imitate and be like, oh wow, I'm just looking at this yellow wall and I'm thinking of Lord Chaitanya. I'm going to faint in ecstasy so people can worship me. It's not like that. We don't do it like that. But we understand and we see. We have, every devotee has their adhikar, and according to the adhikar, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they have realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to their adhikar, which is according to Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, according to their qualification. It's not like you imagine your qualification. So many people think, anyway, this Maharaj who's been strictly following Srila Prabhupada and following his instructions and performing sadhana very thoroughly and nicely, does not have the realization like me who just joined 3 years ago. Why? Because we have different adhikars, They say like this and they fall down. So many times we've seen with our own eyes. That, they claim to have some of the highest realizations. And they go to perform so many amazing things. We should bathe in Radhakund repeatedly. We should bathe in Radhakund repeatedly. But we say that most of them, they go and they do this. But then, the devotional practice does not reflect that so-called attachment to Radhakund and all these other places. It's simply a hoax. We see that our own Srila Prabhupada, he bathed in Radhakund once. And that was after he unmanifested his pastimes. His disciples took his transcendental form and dipped it in Radhakund 3 times. Another time, Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, his friend, came. Prabhupada's very, very dear friend. And he said, you go and bathe for me on my behalf. So these are our acharyas. They do not take things cheaply and do not recommend that we take things cheaply. But, if we think, we should go and we should do like this and we should not try to, we should follow in the footsteps of our acharyas. Even if we want to imitate Prabhupada, we can't do it. We cannot do it. So we have to understand our adhikar based on Shastra, understanding this. Ritetam yat pratyeta na pratyeta chatmani. First, let's be conscious of Krishna 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. Let's be conscious of Krishna. Let every thought, every word of ours, everything that we do, be completely Krishna conscious. Let's try that and let's see if we can do it continuously for 5 years. Okay, that may be too long. For 2.5 years, that also may be too long. 1 year, that may be 6 months, 3 months, 1 week, 3 days, 10 minutes. Constantly think of Krishna. Where are we? Then we can see for ourselves how much Krishna premis we are, how much in love with Krishna we are. We can see. So this we understand like this, because we can understand just like when we're hungry, when we eat bhakti, parishana bhava, virakti ranyatra cha. That when one knows and making advancement in Krishna consciousness by seeing how much the material desires are going away. If our material desires are not going away and we are imagining ourselves to be in the high levels of love of God, we will really end up in a very sorry state. Very sorry state. Because we will constantly kill ourselves. For example, I knew someone, I used to live with them. They were going and they were doing all kinds of nonsense activities in the back, and then they were coming in the night, and in the morning they would come and they would perform all these. This is back then in New York, going and doing all these kinds of nonsense in the book room, in the elevator, all these places they were doing, going to the place where the sense object resides, and doing all these things, and coming back the next morning and talking about Radha Krishna Leela, and how they're chanting, chanting 32 rounds and doing all these things, but then at night going and doing something else. So this kinds of activities is not recommended. And they put on a show for some time, and then after some time, the whole thing came out, and it was a very sorry situation. It was a very sorry situation. And why? Because you can be something you're not. It seems like a truism or something like that. But you cannot like just, falsely say, I'm like such an elevated guy and I'm able to see. No. First, let's understand and see everything properly. Let's understand the Bhagavad Gita properly. Very nice. You want to get into Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava and Ujjvala Nilamani. So many, so many amazing esoteric books are there. Oh, I want to get into this. I want to get into that. The only lecture, I really enjoyed Maharaj's lecture on Prema Samputa Radha Katha. I really enjoyed it. That itself shows our disqualification. Is the lecture meant for our enjoyment? Or are we meant to be enjoyed by the lecture? This is what Krishna is speaking about here. One who sees me and sees everything in me, I am never lost to him, nor is he ever lost to me. He understands, wherever he sees, he actually understands that he is the object of vision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Drigdrishya Vichar, understand this. Who is the seer and who is the seen? Wherever his eyes go, he's thinking, wow, Krishna, I'm being seen by Krishna. I'm the object of Krishna's sight. I'm the object of my spiritual master's sight. How am I behaving? Is my behavior going to please my spiritual master or not? Preaching to myself, big time here. But still, is my behavior going to please my spiritual master or not? That is the beginning. But nowadays you have devotees who are saying, anyway, initially you need Sambandha Gyan, and then you need the Bhagavatam and Radharani's Bhagavatam, you need the sword of knowledge from the Guru to fight illusion. And then once you fought with the illusion, put your weapons down because there's no need to fight anymore and just worship the holy name. Basically like throwing down the Bhagavatam, you don't need all this, you just need you and the holy name. That's Sahajyavad, borderline Mayavad. So we do not imagine, we do not concoct Shruti Smriti Purana, these Pancharatra Vidim Vina, Ekanta ki Harer Bhaktir Utpata Yaiva Kalpate. That if we perform our activities in the name of so-called devotional service, but our activities are not according to Shruti Smriti Purana and Pancharatra, we are simply creating a disturbance in the society of devotees. So we should understand this point very well. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. That is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. First, let's understand how everything we see in the world is related to Krishna. Let's understand this simple point. Let's understand. Every time we drink water, do we think that the taste of water is Krishna? At least I don't. Sometimes I try to remind myself, but most of the time I don't. How many times? Rasoham apsukontaya prabhashmi shri suryayoho. Do we see the light of the sun, think, wow, the light of the sun is Krishna? Pranava sarvavedi shabda ke paurusham nishu. When someone is really strong, do we think that the strength, the principle of that strength is coming from Krishna? Bijam mam sarvabhutana vidhi partha sanatanam. Buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejas vinamaham. Do we think that all intelligence is coming from Krishna? Wow, this person is very intelligent. Just see Krishna's potency. Just see Krishna's potency there. Do we see like that? No? Do we think like that? Then if we are not doing all these things, then we can understand where we are in our Krishna consciousness. Actually, realistically speaking, our goal should be to be in Sankirtan Samadhi. That anything that moves, we think, wow, can we distribute a Bhagavatam to them? That's a good start, actually. That we can do. Wow, okay, let's do it. Let's do it like that. We see that building, okay, let's see how many people are in there. At least they should take 2 Bhagavatams. If we start to think like that, then we are at least beginning somewhere. We're beginning somewhere. This is actually the spiritual master's order. By thinking of executing the order of the spiritual master, then we can actually go ahead and actually see everything. We can see, oh wow, so many cars are stopping at this traffic signal. If I had the potency, while the traffic signal was stopped, I could distribute Bhagavatam says to all these people in the car. If we think like that, then we are meditating upon the orders of the Guru. We're actually meditating upon the orders of Krishna. We're meditating upon Krishna himself. Because Krishna's service in Krishna, they are non-different. Why? Because by performing the service to Krishna, we understand, oh wow, it's the simultaneously one and different. We understand, how can there be a separation between Bhakti, Bhakta and Bhagavan? How can there be a separation between the devotee, devotional service and Krishna? If devotee is there, that means he's going to perform devotional service to Krishna. But again, like the Mayavadis, we don't say that Bhakti, Bhakta and Bhagavan are all the same and there's no difference between them. No, not like that. Not like that. But we see this. That, we perform the process of devotional service to develop a loving attachment to Krishna. Nothing exists without Krishna. Prabhupada is amazing here. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. Krishna is the Lord of everything. Everything Krishna sees. Then we can actually be peaceful. Bhoktaram jagat tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantam richati. Then if you want to be peaceful, understand 3 things. That Krishna is the proprietor of everything, Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, and most importantly, Krishna is your friend. Krishna is your friend. If we understand these 3 points, then we can actually be peaceful. And we've said this point so many times, but it's good to repeat it. That, if you have a really good friend, but he's not really the enjoyer or he's not really the proprietor of everything, then it's like, okay, it's nice you have a friend, but what's the use? But then if you have a friend and he's the enjoyer of everything, but he's not the proprietor of anything, that means he's going to enjoy it illegally along with you. That's also not good for you. But you have a friend who is a proprietor of everything, but he cannot enjoy I own it, but I cannot enjoy it. Like, we see that some cats are like millionaires, but they can't really enjoy that money. And the cat may be your friend. You can't even like coax your cat like, hey cat, can you buy me this Ferrari? No. The cat cannot go and swipe his credit card and buy you a Ferrari. So what's the use? You can't do that either. And then what's really bad is if there's someone who's a proprietor of everything, is the enjoyer of everything, and he's not your friend, then we're really messed up. Then we're really in a bad situation. But Krishna is all these three things. Krishna is all these three. Krishna is your dear friend. Krishna doesn't say, Krishna is Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. He doesn't say Bandhunam Sarvabhutanam. And he doesn't say Mitra, whatever, however you say, whatever, Mitravan Sarvabhutanam, whatever, he doesn't say why. Because I'm not so good at Sanskrit. But you understand this then. Why, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says very specifically why Krishna uses the word Suhrit. Because in Sanskrit, Bandhu means, anyway, he's related to us, like, we are kind of forced, we're kind of forced to like, accept him as a part of our family or whatever. Like sometimes like there's a really rascal son and the entire family is fed out with him, but what to do, he's a son. We have to deal with him. And then Mitra means like he's a regular friend, a social friend, everyone, Hari Bol, like not on the deep platform. But Suhrit means the one who's the dear, 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 dearmost friend of all living entities. If you say, this person is my Suhrit, if you say this person is my Suhrit, that means that this person and me are like, we're like peanut butter and jelly. We are tight. We're really, really tight. That this person, he's always there for me. He tolerates everything I do, and I tolerate everything that he does. But on the material platform, that's also limited. Let's just say you have a friend who really loves you, and then every single time he's just like, you're like, wow, man, I'm really happy to see you. I'm not happy to see you, you fool. And like, every time, like, there's no love. It's not even like fake fighting, but there's really no love. And like, you do all these things for him, and he's an ungrateful wretch. And like, any given opportunity he gets, he like, slanders you and, says all bad things about you. Then at a certain point of time, you're going to get fried out with this guy. Okay, he's not my friend anymore. I don't want to deal with this guy. But Krishna is not like that. We are forgetting Krishna in this material world. We are forgetting Krishna. We are slandering Krishna. We are subscribing to philosophies which denote that Krishna is not a person. We are attached to ideologies where we say that Krishna, anyway, he does not exist, or you are Krishna, I am Krishna. And we perform so many offenses against Krishna. But the minute a devotee takes the holy name of Krishna, the minute a devotee starts to practice Krishna consciousness and wonders, oh Krishna, how have I forgotten you? Immediately Krishna forgets everything. He doesn't say, you rascal, for 20 million lives you've done such a horrible thing. Every single time, you've like you've said so many bad things about me. I'm sitting in your heart and you just like, I hear you say all the horrible things you say about me. You never thought of me even once. Oh, now you think of me all of a sudden after 20 million years. Oh, he doesn't say like that. Immediately Krishna, wow, thank God. Finally. And then Krishna is very eager. Krishna becomes very eager. How can I bring my friend, my lover, someone who is in the parental rasa with me, someone who is my servant, how can I bring this sweet devotee back to me? I've missed him so much. We say this also. I think we read this a long time ago in this, what's it called? In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Swagatam Vatsa. In Bhakta Vatsala, my spiritual master, he reads from this. Do you mind if I took over the what's it called? TV or whatever? You don't have a problem, right, Jacob? As long as I get your permission, okay. So over here we see that Gopakumar finally makes his way back to the spiritual world. And Krishna welcomes him. Swagatam Vatsa. Where is that? Sorry, wrong quote. here. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Swagatam Swagatam Vatsa, Dishtya Dishtya Bhavan Maya, Sangatortha Twadikshayam, Chiram Utkantihe Tite Nahi. Is it too small? Good. The Supreme Lord said, "Welcome, welcome, my dear boy. I am fortunate, most fortunate to meet you here. For so long I have been eager to see you. My dear friend, you have passed many lifetimes without paying any attention to me at all. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool." Krishna is saying this. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the proprietor, the enjoyer, and friend of everyone, is saying this to Gopakumar. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking perhaps in this life, or this, he will finally turn his face toward me. But I could find no pretext on which to bring you to my abode, dear brother, and still follow the timeless laws that I have myself created. This is a really nice commentary. Since the Supreme Lord is all-powerful, why didn't he simply find a way to bring Gopakumar to him sooner? The Lord establishes the laws of the universe, which are enunciated in the Vedas and other scriptures, and he chooses to adhere to his own restrictions. As long as living entities want to control and enjoy their own world, he does not interfere. Only when they show, by calling out his names, that they want to return to him, does he again reveal himself. In previous lives, Gopakumar had never chanted the names of Narayana, even unintentionally or in jest. Had he at least vibrated a shadow of the Lord's name, he could have been delivered like Ajamil. In any case, Gopakumar is finally returning home. So he didn't do all this. So then what does Krishna say? You showed me no mercy. Krishna is telling his devotee, you showed me no mercy. And as I considered this, I grew impatient, full of anxiety to receive your favor. So I transgressed my eternal code of conduct and arranged for you to take your current birth. Dear boy, in the divine district of Govardhan, my most beloved abode, I myself became your guru by the name Jayanta. Krishna himself, he was like, I can't take it anymore. And Krishna himself, he came to protect his devotee, to bring his devotee back. Today, at last, you have fulfilled the desire I have harbored for so long. Please nourish your happiness and mine by staying here forever in the spiritual world. Then Gopakumar said, maddened by drinking, this is similar to the one of our favorite verses. Shri Gopakumar Uvacha, Etat Shri Bhagavad Vakya Mahapiyusha Panataha Matoham, I become mad, Na Shakam Stotum Kartum Nyatum Cha Kinchana. Shri Gopakumar said, maddened by drinking the beverage of the Supreme Lord's words so intoxicating, I was unable to offer praise or to understand or do anything. And this we see is very often that when a devotee finally comes in touch with Krishna, they kind of lose it. They kind of are like, whoa, they're so intoxicated. Like, this person's humility is breaking my heart. This person is so beautiful, unable to understand it. We even see this in the Bhagavatam too, that the Gopakumar, the four Kumaras are completely stunned when Vishnu comes out of his abode, and he goes and he sees the four Kumaras and he says, actually, it's my fault. These are my servants and they made a mistake. And, I take the responsibility for them. And therefore, what should I give you? Should I cut off my arm and give it to you? And the four Kumaras are thinking, what is this person talking? Why does he want to give me his arm? Like, who is this person? He's so beautiful. They're completely intoxicated by hearing the words. This is so amazing. Look at what Gopakumar says here. He says, Etat Shri Bhagavad Vakya, by listening to the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahapiyusha Panataha. He's drinking. What is this? How does Piyusha? The very intoxicating, Mahapiyusha, the very intoxicating beverage. Matoham Nasakam Stotam. I've become completely mad. Mad in I, Nasakam, was not able to Stotam, to offer praise. Kartum Yatum Na Kinchana. Unable to do, understand, Kinchana, anything. He was unable to figure out what the heck is going on here. Just in front of us appeared a number of flute players dressed as cowherd boys just like me. They very affectionately encouraged me, gained my trust, pulled me into their midst, and urged me to play my flute. In various styles, I played this very dear flute of mine, born on Govardhan Hill. And in this way, I satisfied the ocean of all skillful arts, the reservoir of all mercy, Sri Madhava, along with his associates. So Krishna is eager. Krishna is eager. See, Krishna is, dancing with his friends so nicely. Krishna is eager to bring his devotees back. Krishna is very eager. Krishna is more eager than we can imagine. And there's some rascals who say, anyway, Krishna is detached, Krishna is detached from all this. Krishna doesn't really care. Like, imagine if Krishna was feeling bad, then that means he would be like crying at every minute. And how is he going to be enjoying? That you don't understand, you fool, you idiot, you rascal. You don't understand Krishna's inconceivable potencies. You do not understand them. Krishna can do both. Krishna can be enjoying the pastimes of his devotees and also feeling separation from those who are not there. And who is there to satisfy Krishna's desires and Krishna completely? Srimati Radharani. We see this in Radha Katha Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. Speaking about Prema Samputa, he says that Krishna abandons Radharani also in this Rasa Leela in order to show that although the gopis' love for Krishna is unlimited and we cannot even understand it, to show how much her love for Krishna is like Mount Meru. And Krishna says that he wanted to show the other gopis that their love for him compared to the love of Radharani is like a small pebble. Like their love for Krishna is like a small pebble, and Radharani's love for Krishna is like a great mountain. How can we understand this? It's not like the gopis' love for Krishna is insignificant in any way, shape, or form. But she's there, to perform the service of taking care and pleasing Krishna. So, a great yogi, who is the greatest yogi? The greatest yogi is Srimati Radharani. Wherever she sees Krishna. The gopis are the greatest yogis. They see. Oh, Uddhava comes and says, actually, you should realize Krishna like this. He's in your heart. He's Paramatma. And then the gopis defeat him. Uddhava thinks, I am the Shishya of Brihaspati. I am the disciple of Brihaspati. I know so much, I can explain to them and help them understand how they can meditate upon Krishna. But the gopis completely defeat every argument that he had. You're talking about how to remember Krishna, but we are sitting here talking about how we can forget Krishna. And while we're talking about forgetting Krishna, we're remembering Krishna even more. Therefore, we're completely hopeless, we're completely Krishna conscious. That's what they say. This is the topmost yogi. And by following the instructions is given to us, we see this. We can actually come to that highest platform. We see an intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee then exists. In that stage, the living entity can never be annihilated, nor is the personality of Godhead ever out of the sight of the devotee. That the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always seen by the devotee. Why? Because his eyes are anointed with the salve of love. And in this verse, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena, Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti, Yam Shyama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. In this verse, there's one word that Maharaj spoke about, sitting here. Anyone knows? Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. And just on this one word, we can talk so much. Maharaj already spoke. So many things. And Krishna, he stretches himself out completely in order to please the devotee, in order to protect the devotee. No matter where the devotee goes, Krishna pleases him. Krishna protects him. Krishna is there. Krishna extends himself. Sun means to come together, and ta is a word which means to stretch or expand himself. So Krishna comes and he does everything in his power, which is everything, in order to protect his devotee. Krishna exists for the sake of his devotees. He doesn't exist for all. Krishna exists for the sake of his devotees. Krishna is there to please his devotees. He's not there for anything. And the pure devotee sees that. Now Krishna is existing for his devotees, and I'm serving his pure devotee. Therefore, let me see how even in this creation, Krishna is facilitating service to his pure devotee. How can I see it like this? By seeing like this, by thinking how we can see it like this, then we are coming in line. This is a practical thing. Anyone can do it. Anyone can. No matter how low we are on the devotional line. We can do it. Wow, everything is, how can I use such and such a thing to serve my spiritual master? How can I use such and such a thing to serve the order of my guru? By seeing all these and by relating this, then we can do, then we can see, then we can be on the path. Otherwise, we will have no hope. And Prabhupada goes on to speak about how the living entity can never be annihilated. And I was thinking, what is Prabhupada talking about here? The living entity can never be annihilated. And Prabhupada says, to merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. That to merge in Krishna, oh, I want to merge in Krishna. What is the use? What is the use? Why do you want to kill yourself? Why do you want to kill yourself? It doesn't give pleasure to you. It doesn't give pleasure to Krishna. You're going to go to a place, Prabhuji, where you're not going to do nothing. Like, how attractive does that sound? Wow, you're not going to do anything for like 5 million years, and then you're going to fall right back to the material world. Wow, amazing. And then you can again be a hog, dog, and worm and stool again. Like, that doesn't sound so attractive. Why do that? Why do that to ourselves? We don't need to do that. We can go and live with Krishna. We can be happy with Krishna. Krishna wants to come. Like Gopakumar, please come. Please come. And all of Krishna's friends welcome him. They were dressed as cowherd boys just like him. And they invited him to come play his flute. Play your flute. And he got the empowerment to play his flute, and he played his flute in various ways and satisfied Sri Madhava. He satisfied Krishna. This is a sweetness for which we're always anxious. We should be always anxious. This should be it. Nothing else. What other need is there? What other need is there? There is nothing else. And all this is available. It's practically available. When we give ourselves 100% to the mission of the spiritual master, it's available. It's there for sure. It's there for sure. It's definitely there in book distribution. You can taste it. That taste will completely, that rasa will completely take over your entire being. They can literally, there's nothing you can experience. And it's not cheap. It's not like, wow, Jai, let's go out on book distribution. And what do we do when we go out on book distribution? We just sit there on a table and talk to our friend like the Jehovah's Witness for 2 hours and say, this is our something Sankirtan festival. No, not like that. We actually go and we distribute books. We approach people and we do this and we do that. We try to coax, we try to work hard, not like, let's have a social scene outside the Patel Brothers, Prabhuji. And then I say, what the heck are these people, Jehovah's Witness or what? What are these people doing? We don't want to distribute Bhagavatam, says, can we show them children's books about and all this? What nonsense are you talking? Show them the Bhagavatam, I was so fried out, straight up. Someone came up to me like, Prabhuji, can I, he came up to me and he was like, I am I'm really inspired by you. Please teach me to distribute books. Every time I go out on books, the people see this children's story for children's Krishna stories, and they never buy the Bhagavatam. What should I do, Prabhuji? I told them, first thing you do, freaking take those children's things and put them on the side, sell them the Bhagavatam, and tell them if they buy the Bhagavatam, you get a free set of the children's book or whatever you want to show them, He said, oh, yes, Prabhuji. And then 10 minutes later, he said, can I keep the children's books on your table? I said, no, what's wrong with you? I just told you no. And then they're like, oh. And I said, what the heck? It's just, I was so bewildered. Like, dude, you just asked me to teach and I'm teaching you. You just 10 minutes later, not even one day, 10 minutes, not even 1 hour. The heck? But because they don't think it's possible. Like, it's not possible. It's not, if the person doesn't belong to a particular race, it's literally impossible for them to buy a book. Like this, they may be stuck in some kind. But when you're transcendentally situated, or when you're at least trying to be transcendentally situated, seeing every living entity, or trying to see every living entity as a spirit, so according to the Bhagavad Gita, then it's possible to engage. Otherwise, no, then there'll be so many mental hang-ups, so many mental hang-ups, become the Jehovah's Witness out there, But that's not what we want to do. We want to engage in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Come together and glorify and work hard. Work hard, tax your brain how to distribute these books. And actually distribute the books. You don't raise a bunch of money, send it somewhere and pretend like books have been distributed. No. Actually distribute the books. That's the whole other thing. To distribute the books. To get people to pay for it. That's the real thing. Not this imaginary thing. Like, you got it. I give you and you give me. Hari bol. No, not like that. But actually do it. And when you do it, you will experience Hari Rasa. It's there, for sure. So, we should understand this point. And in this purport, Prabhupada is speaking so much about the yogi who sees the Supreme Lord within himself. He's seeing the Supreme Lord within himself, and he cannot live for a moment without getting darshan of the Supreme Lord. And I was thinking about Dhruva Maharaj, in this purport. That in the Bhagavatam, I'm trying to put this up. In the Bhagavatam, it shows us how Dhruva Maharaj, he got instructions from Narada Muni, where Narada Muni tells him, okay, here you go. So here Narada Muni is advising Dhruva Maharaj how to be a yogi. He tells him, after sitting on your seat, practice the 3 kinds of breathing exercises and thus gradually control the life air, the mind and the senses. Completely free yourself from all material contamination and with great patience begin to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The form of the Lord is described herein. The Lord's face is perpetually very beautiful and pleasing in attitude. How can someone's face be pleasing in attitude? When we understand it by looking at Krishna's transcendental face. To the devotees who see him, he appears never to be displeased, and he is always prepared to award benediction to them. His eyes, his nicely decorated eyebrows, his raised nose, and his broad forehead are all very beautiful. He is more beautiful than all the demigods. Narada Muni continued, the Lord's form is always youthful. Every limb and every part of his body is properly formed, free from defect. His eyes and lips are pinkish like the rising sun. He is always prepared to give shelter to the surrendered soul, and anyone so fortunate as to look upon him will always feel satisfaction. The Lord is always worthy to be the master of the surrendered soul, for he is the ocean of mercy. The Lord is further described as having the mark of Sri Vatsa, or the sitting place of the goddess of fortune, and his bodily hue is deep bluish. The Lord is a person. He wears a garland of flowers. And this flowers is actually in one place it's called Sylvan flowers. Around Sylvan Hills. Yes, sir. And Sylvan flowers. You can look it up if you look on a Veda base, Sylvan flowers. In English, Sylvan flowers means a group of wild flowers. And he is eternally manifest with 4 hands which hold, beginning from the lower left hand, a conch shell, whale, club, and a lotus flower. The entire body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, is decorated. He wears a valuable jeweled helmet, necklaces, and bracelets. His neck is adorned with the Kaustuba jewel, and he is dressed in yellow silk garments. The Lord is decorated with small golden bells around his waist, and his lotus feet are decorated with golden ankle bells. All his bodily features are very attractive and pleasing to the eyes. He is always peaceful, calm, and quiet, and very pleasing to the eyes and mind. Real yogis meditate upon the transcendental form of the Lord as he stands on the whirl of the lotus of their hearts, the jewel-like nails of his lotus feet glittering. The Lord is always smiling, and the devotee should constantly see the Lord in this form, as he looks very mercifully toward the devotee. In this way, the meditator should look toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the bestower of all benedictions. One who meditates in this way, concentrating his mind upon the always auspicious form of the Lord, is very soon freed from all material contamination, and he does not come down from meditation upon the Lord. O King, now I shall speak unto you the mantra which is chanted in this process of meditation. One who very carefully chants this mantra for 7 nights can see the perfect human beings flying in the sky. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the 12-syllable mantra for worshipping Lord Krishna. One should install the physical forms of the Lord, and with the chanting of the mantra, one should offer flowers and fruits and other varieties of foodstuffs exactly according to the rules and regulations prescribed by authorities. But this should be done in consideration of time, place, and attendant conveniences and inconveniences. So we see this in our current time. We chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We chant this mantra. And by doing this, we can have full, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, that the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra gets the person from the lowest stage, and he gives himself as an example out of his humility. From the lowest stage, Amar Jivan Sada Pape Rata, all the way to I'm forgetting we are always on Radharani's side. What is that? Guru Maharaj has a picture of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Amito Shada Radha Rabashi. Yeah. Amito Sada Radha Rabashi. From Amar Jivan to Amito Sada Radha Rabashi. Something like this. From that all the way up to there. How? The holy name of Krishna takes one. All the way from there to there. All the way up. So this Mahamantra is the most auspicious sound vibration. By chanting we can do this. We can see this even in the nectar of devotion. There was this great devotee of the Supreme Lord. He was a poor Brahmana. He had come to a Bhagavatam class and he had heard that you can meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your heart. And then he heard that. And then, so every day he would sit and he would meditate upon how he's building this beautiful temple for the Supreme Lord, how he's collecting waters from this temple, how he gets this deity. And this meditation goes on for 30 years where in his heart he has built this beautiful temple. And he's built, he has these beautiful deities of Supreme Lord. They appear and he's worshipping them very nicely. And one day he's making sweet rice for them. And the sweet rice is supposed to be cold, right, Krishna Kesha Prabhu? But it's not supposed to be in the fridge, apparently. So the sweet rice is supposed to be cold. So the devotee, he wants to make sure the sweet rice is cold for the Supreme Lord. And he dips his finger in the sweet rice and his finger burns. And he wakes up and he sees that that's in meditation his finger burns, but he sees that really his finger is burnt. And he's really surprised. And Lord Vishnu starts laughing in Vaikuntha. He starts laughing in Vaikuntha. And Lakshmi Devi asks him, why are you laughing? And he tells, wait. And he sends his Vishnu Dutas and the Vaikuntha airplane to go and bring this Brahmana in front of Lakshmi and himself and tell her what happened. And it gives him eternal residence in Vaikuntha. Nectar of devotion. You got to read it, Jacob. You'll see. It's nectar. It's very amazing. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, I'll end the class over here. If there's any questions or comments, Hare Krishna, we'll take them now. Yes, Prabhu. You have a question? I'm going to try to answer it. I guess you're testing me. You definitely know more than me, that's for sure.
Here when Krishna says, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachyati. If you see in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna says, to whom he says this knowledge of this Yoga Shastra, Bhagavad Gita. Saevayam mayadeta yoga prokta paratana bhaktosi me sakha cheti. What Prabhupada says, bhaktosi me priyosi me. So I wanted to know, when Vishnu Chakra Thakur says Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyan, there, what does he say? Of course, I can read it, but I wanted to hear, and for the devotee's sake, that what does Vishnu Chakra Thakur say when Krishna says Saivayam mayatita yoga prokta bhaktosi me sakha cheti? Why he used sakha there? He used Suhrid.
Because, that's the relationship we see, even the cowherd boys, and they call each other sakha. That's the way they speak with each other.
Yeah.
So that's one
and
thing.
Prabhupada increases to saying priyosi me, bhaktosi me priyosi me. Many a times Prabhupada said this.
Yeah, I can look at it. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think this is sakha. That's how they refer to each other.
I think Suhurda means his friend, but Sakha is more intimate than because I am speculating in that way. Suhrid means a friend. Friend means Prabhupada says, talks between friends are not in that, but he is my very dear.
Yeah, that may be.
Yeah.
We had to see. Anything else? Yes. Brihad Bhagavatamrita. It's way after we read all Prabhupada's books a few times. Okay. Anything else? Mataji? Okay. Jai Shri Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Taking of the world, Shri Prabhupada Sanskrit Book Distribution ki jai. Mancha Kalpatarubhishya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dante.